have the songs of Narottam Das Thakur as the Vedas. Well, I was expecting some answers from Madan Mohan Kundu Prabhu, where he said where we were. I request him to give me where we have left, but he has not responded. So we will read from somewhere that we may have read before. I apologize.
Okay, Prabhu, I see that from the beginning of this chapter, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages. On the top of the 8th page, there's a three lines, and it ends with this period when his consciousness, however, is changed into Krishna consciousness, he can immediately understand how Krishna is trying to assist.
Let me say, you should have responded Prabhuji yesterday, so I said be prepared. But anyway, let me take the time to find out that paragraph because pages are different on each, books. So let me see what the paragraph you are talking about. Can you repeat those lines, please, again?
Okay.
Mhm.
The last sentence of the paragraph is like this. There's a 3 lines on the top of the
Just tell me
page.
last line, please.
Oh, okay. Last line is says, condition souls to get out of material entanglement.
Okay.
It conditions souls to get out of the material entanglement. The next paragraph starts with Sutadeva continued.
Okay. Next time onward, Prabhu, if you have suggestion, please respond day before. I request you.
Okay.
So we don't have to waste the 2-3 minutes of other people's valuable time. That's my humble request.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. I will do that.
Thank you. Okay, so I will read that whole paragraph. This statement of the Brahmana is very instructive. It is a fact that the Supreme Lord Personality of Godhead in his Paramatma future entered the creation of this material world as Mahavishnu, Garbhodakshay Vishnu, and Shirodakshay Vishnu. And in a very friendly attitude, the Lord is sitting along with the conditioned soul in the body. Therefore, every living entity has the Lord with him from the very beginning. But due to his mistaken consciousness of life, the living entity cannot understand this. When his consciousness is, however, changed into Krishna consciousness, he can. immediately understand how Krishna is trying to assist the conditioned souls to get out of the material entanglement. So we continue. Sutadeva continued, "My dear Lord, you have entered this material world as if in a sleeping conditions. A conditioned soul, while sleeping, create false or temporary worlds. He becomes busy in many illusory activities, sometime becoming a king, sometime a murder, or sometime going to an unknown city. And all these are simply temporary affairs. Similarly, your Lordship, apparently also in a sleeping condition, enter this material world to create a temporary manifestation, not for your personal necessities, but for the conditioned souls who wants to imitate your Lordship as enjoyer. The conditioned soul's enjoyment in the material world is temporary and illusory. And yet, the conditioned soul is by himself unable to create such a temporary situation for his illusory enjoyment. In order to fulfill his desire, although they are temporary and illusory, you entered in the temporary manifestations to help him. Thus, from the beginning of the conditioned souls entering into the material world, you are his constant companion. When, therefore, the conditioned soul come in contact with a pure devotee and takes to devotional service, beginning from the process of hearing your transcendental pastimes, glorifying your transcendental activities, worshipping your eternal form in the temple, offering prayer to you, and engaging in the discussion to understand your transcendental position, he then gradually becomes freed from the contamination of material existence. Wonderful instructions. His heart becomes cleansed of all material dust, and thus gradually you become visible in the heart of a devotee. Krishna is so close to us, but we have no vision or no inclination to know him or to take his shelter. Although you are constantly with the conditioned soul, only when he becomes purified by devotional service, particularly chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra attentively, do you become revealed to him. Others who are bewildered by fruitive activities, either by Vedic injunctions or customary dealings, and who do not take to devotional service, become captivated by the external happiness of the bodily concepts of life. You are not revealed to such persons. Rather, you remain far, far away from them. If you are not seeking the shelter of Krishna, Krishna will leave you alone. He has no interest unless you show some interest. He is Atmaram. He is completely self-satisfied. He don't need your service. Don't think that you are doing a great thing by contributing something or rendering some service. He doesn't need anything. It's we who need Krishna. You remain far, far away. But for one who being engaged in your devotional service and has purified his heart by constant chanting of your holy name, you become very easily understood as his eternal constant companion. And when you have Krishna as your good friend, what is the problem? You know? everything will run so smoothly in our life. Like gopis and the Brajavasis has exhibited their life. It is said that your lordship sitting in the heart of a devotee gives him direction by which he can very quickly come back home, back to Godhead. This direct dictation by you reveals your existence within the heart of a devotee. Only a devotee can immediately appreciate your existence within his heart. Whereas for a person who has only a bodily concepts of life and is engaged in sense gratification, you always remain covered by the curtain of the Yoga Maya. Such a person cannot realize that you are very near, sitting within his heart. For a non-devotee, you are appreciated only as ultimate death. The difference is like the difference between a cat carrying its kitten in its mouth and the cat carrying a rat in his mouth. In the mouth of the cat, the rat feels its death, whereas the kittens in the mouth of the cat feel motherly affection. What a wonderful analogy. Similarly, you are present to everyone, but the non-devotee feels your ultimate cruel death. Whereas for a devotee, you are the supreme instructor and philosopher. The atheists, therefore, understand the presence of God as death, but the devotees understand the presence of God always within his heart. Take dictation from him. Dictation from you, and lives transcendentally, not being affected by the contamination of this material world. What a wonderful prayer. You are the supreme controller and superintendent of the material nature activities. The atheistic class of man simply observe the activity of material nature, but cannot find you as the original background. A devotee, however, can immediately see your hand in every movement of material nature. Nothing happens without the sanction of God. The curtain of Yoga Maya cannot cover the eyes of the devotee of your Lordship, but it can cover the eyes of a non-devotee. The non-devotee is unable to see you eye to eye, just as a person whose eyes are interrupted by the covering of a cloud cannot see the sun. Although persons who are flying above the cloud can see the sunshine brilliantly as it is. My dear Lord, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. My dear self-effulgent Lord, I am your eternal servitor. Therefore, kindly order me. What can I do for you? The conditioned souls feel the pangs of material contamination as threefold miseries, as long as you are not visible to him. And as soon as you are visible by development of Krishna consciousness, all miseries of material existence simultaneously becomes vanquished. Ye yathamam prapadyante. As we surrender, Krishna take care of our problems. Put us into the right spot where we can enjoy the wonderful, loving relationship with Krishna. and get completely satisfied. So this is something very unique happens to us when we surrender to Krishna. The Supreme Personality Godhead Krishna is naturally very much affectionately inclined to his devotees. How many times we have seen this in the pages of our scriptures? Krishna is just looking for loving relationship, that's all. He doesn't need anything. When he heard the Sutadeva's prayer of pure devotion, he was very much pleased and immediately caught his hand and began to address him like as follows. My dear Sutadev, all these great sages and saintly persons have been very kind to you by personally coming here to see you. You should consider this opportunity to be a great fortune for you. They are so kind that they are traveling with me, and wherever they go, they immediately make the whole atmosphere as pure as transcendence, simply by the touch of the dust of their feet. People are accustomed to go to the temple of God. They also visit holy places of pilgrimage. And after prolonged association with such activities for many days, by touch and by worship, gradually they become purified. But the influence of great sages and saintly persons is so great that by seeing them, one immediately becomes completely purified. Now, how can we not say that we have seen so many pure devotees? Why we are not getting purified? Are we seeing those personality? That's the question. How many times a day do you remember your Guru Maharaj? When some problem comes, we try to find out the solution with using our little tiny material brain. But we never want to take the shelter of our Guru and Krishna. That's our problem. Moreover, the very purifying potency of pilgrimage or worship of different demigods is also achieved by the grace of saintly person. And we read that. Even if you remember those saintly person and pray them personally, I don't know you have experience or not. Try to get some time, pray to some persons and see that they can listen your prayer or not. I have some experience later, and I'm sure that this personality ever existing, they're ready to help us if you sincerely seek that shelter. They are there to help us, not to destroy us. Moreover, the very purifying potency of pilgrimage or worship, the grace of saintly person. A pilgrimage site becomes a holy place. Why? Because of the presence of the saintly person. My dear Shrutadev, when a person is born as a Brahmana, he immediately becomes the best of all human beings. And if such a Brahmana, remaining self-satisfied, practices austerities, studies the Vedas, and engage in my devotional service, as is the duty of a Brahmana. Or in other words, if a Brahmana become a Vaishnava, how wonderful is his greatness. My future of 400 Narayan is not so pleasing or dear to me as is a Brahmana Vaishnava. Brahmana means one well conversant with Vedic knowledge. A Brahmana is the insignia of perfect knowledge. And I am the full-fledged manifestations of all gods. The less intelligent class of men do not understand me as the highest knowledge, nor do they understand the influence of Brahmana Vaishnava. Their influence by the three modes of material nature, and thus dare to criticize me and my pure devotees. This is the next step. If we are not firmly fixed in our devotional practice, definitely you will blame someone. Oh, this temple president was not good, this head pujari was not good, oh, this community is not good. Everything they will find out the fault. That the succession comes like that. And ultimately, they will live the moment and they will feel so happy. Oh, I did the right thing. But we don't realize that Krishna is kicking it out. Very hard to take it. Brahman is one well conversant with the Vinodic knowledge. Brahmana is the insignia of perfect knowledge, and I am the full-fledged manifestation of all gods. The less intelligent class of men do not understand me as the highest knowledge, nor do they understand the influence of the Brahmana Vaishnava. They are influenced by the three modes of material nature, and thus dare to criticize me and my pure devotees. A Brahmana Vaishnava or a devotee already on a Brahmanical platform can realize me within his heart, and therefore he definitely conclude that the whole cosmic manifestation and its different future are effect of different energy of the Lord. Thus, he has a clear conception of the whole material nature and the total material energy. And in every action, such a devotee see me only and nothing else. How can we accept this sentence? Anything happens, Krishna is behind these activities. Krishna has sanctioned those things. If you are suffering, it's blessings of Krishna, so we can wake up by suffering. Then let me try to get out of this suffering. In all respect, Krishna is always well-wisher. My dear Sukadeva, you may therefore accept all these great saintly persons, Brahmanas and the sages as my bona fide representative. By worshipping them faithfully, you will be worshipping me more diligently. I consider worship of my devotee to be better than direct worship of me. If someone attempts to worship me directly without worshipping my devotees, he clearly says, I do not accept such worship, even though it may be presented with great opulence. You know, Krishna never took a dinner at Duryodhana's house, but at the Vidura's place, he lovingly accepted the peel of the banana. That's Krishna. We cannot buy Krishna with our wealth or anything materially. It needs the pure, sincere devotion and mood of surrender to him and his devotees. In this way, both the Brahmana, Shrutadev, and the king of Mithila, under the direction of the Lord, worship both Krishna and his followers. The great sage and the saintly Brahmanas on an equal level of spiritual importance. Both Brahmana and the king ultimately achieve the supreme goal of being transferred to the spiritual world. The devotee does not know anyone except Lord Krishna. And Krishna is most affectionate to his devotee. Lord Krishna remained in Mithila both at the house of the Brahmana Sutadev and at the palace of King Bahunasva. And after favoring them lavishly, Gaurachandra Prabhu donated lavishly. By his transcendental instructions, he went back to his capital city, Dwarka. So the instruction we receive from this incident is, listen attentively, that King Bahulaswa and Sutadev, the Brahmana, were accepted by the Lord on the same level because both were pure devotees. This is the real qualification for being recognized by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because it has become the fashion of this age to become falsely proud of having taken birth in the family of a Kshatriya or of a Brahmana. We see persons without any qualification other than birth claiming to be Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya. But as it is stated in the scripture, Kalo Shudra Shambhava. In this age of Kali, everyone is Shudra. This is because there is no performance of the purificatory process known as sanskaras, which begin from the time of the mother's pregnancy and continue up to the point of the individual's death. No one can be classified as a member of a particular caste, especially of a higher caste, Brahmana, Kshatriya, or Vaishya, simply by birthright. If one is not purified by the process of seed-giving ceremony or Garbhadan samskar, he is immediately classified amongst the Sudras, because only the Sudras do not undergo those purificatory process. Sex life without the purificatory process of Krishna consciousness is merely the seed-giving process of Sudras or the animals. But Krishna consciousness is the highest perfection by which everyone can come to the platform of a Vaishnava. These include having all the qualifications of a Brahmana. The Vaishnavas are trained to become freed from the four kinds of sinful activities: illicit sex, indulgence in intoxicants, gambling, and eating animal foodstuffs. No one can be on the Brahminical platform without having these preliminary qualifications. And without becoming a qualified Brahmana, one cannot become a pure devotee. Wonderful instruction. Thus end the Bhaktivedanta purport of the second volume, 31st chapter of Krishna, the kidnapping of Subhadra and Lord Krishna's visiting Shrutadev and Bahulaswa. Yeah, I was thinking that we were at this chapter, but Madan Mohan Kundu Prabhu says, no, we have not completed that. So this is chapter number 32, prayers by the personified Vedas. Wonderful prayers. 6:52, huh? I think I would like to stop today at 7 o'clock. I don't want to go for one more hour. I have to take a little rest, and also I will have to prepare our final luggage and everything. And I want to be peaceful. So please excuse me, but we will read for next 3 minutes. King Parikshit inquired from Sukadeva Goswami about a very important topic in understanding transcendental subject matter. His question was, quote, since Vedic knowledge generally deals with the subject matter of the three qualities of the material world, how then can it approach the subject matter of transcendence, which is beyond the approach of the three material modes? And that is right. In the Vedas, it says that only in Atharva Veda, only 4% of the devotion has been described. 96% is just the rituals. All the Vedas are that like that. Only Atharva Veda has 4%. So, how can the Vedic knowledge expressing by material sound the thought of the mind approach transcendence? Description of a subject matter necessitates describing its source of emanation, its qualities, and its activities. Such descriptions can be possible only by thinking with the material mind and by vibrating material words. Although Brahmana or the absolute truth has no material qualities, our power of speaking does not go beyond the material qualities. I'm sorry. Somebody has unmuted the phone. Madan Mohan Kundu Prabhu, you have unmuted. It's very little disturbance. And my book touched the bottle of glass. Thank you. Destined to happen. Everything happens by the will of Krishna. So such a description can be possible only by thinking with the material mind and by vibrating material words. Although Brahmans or the absolute truth has no material qualities, our power of speaking does not go beyond the material qualities. How then can Brahman, the absolute truth, be described by your words? I do not see how is it possible to understand transcendence from such expression of material sound. That's the question. So looking forward to hear the explanation raised by King Parikshit, a great devotee who is helping us to understand very nicely. So we should remain in depth to those personalities. So it's 6:55, we should be punctual. So we should stop here, and I would greatly appreciate, and please feel sometime I speak, but because I love you all, I know what it takes little from my Guru Maharaj, what it takes to become free from this entanglement of the cycle of birth and death. And knowing my situation, how fallen I am, it's just need the strong words every morning to train our mind. That's what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Maharaj and Bhakti Vinod Thakur is instructing us, that we should bang our mind 100 times when you wake up in the morning and 100 times bang with the broomstick in the evening before you go to sleep. Why this Acharya is saying like that? Because it's essential. It is important. We are living in the material world and we become satisfied by doing little service. And satisfaction kills our devotion. We should never satisfied until we reach the final goal. So with those thoughts, I would like to appreciate all of you. You are the one who is making my devotion a little stronger. Otherwise, how is it possible? A devotee may say, oh, I'm chanting. Give me a break. We will see. But I would like to offer my humble obeisances to those devotees who is kind enough to join and support us. This is the only way we will be able to remain steadfast. Otherwise, we have seen the great devotees swayed away. Material Maya Devi is so strong. So I would like to offer my humble obeisances. Vancha kalpataru bhasya